What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Friday, May 7th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We are rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Anthony Lamb, Facundo Campazzo, Kelly Olynyk, Luka Doncic, and Armani Brooks on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to the power forward spot, and we're grabbing Kenyon Martin Jr., a.k.a. KJ Martin. 4,700, projected for 29. The goal's 36. He's in the optimal lineup 21% of the time. Putting it out there now, all bets are off on this Houston team. They have potentially 9 active bodies. It's possible that only 7 of those guys actually can play today. I'm giving him 34 minutes. He could probably play more. I'd be surprised if he played less, barring foul trouble issues. 0.85 fantasy points per minute, 17% usage, 12.5 points, 7 boards, 1 of everything else, basically. Now, it is a really nice pace-up spot against Milwaukee. It's great to get a couple extra possessions, but you're rostering Kenyon Martin here because the Rockets don't actually have bodies to play this game, and he's going to get minutes by default. I wish that he had dual eligibility, but it's okay. They are monstrous underdogs, but you would expect him to probably be out on the floor even in a whooping, so fingers crossed here. I've got Kenyon Martin here. I've got Armani Brooks here. I've got Kelly Olynyk, Anthony Lamb. There's more to come for the Rockets. You just have to pay attention to the news. If Kyrie Thomas can play today, that will thin everybody out. If DJ Augustin is active but can't play, that will give everybody a boost. If Kyrie Thomas isn't active, then they have 7 bodies once again, plus multiple additional Q tags on Jayshawn Tate and Christian Wood and someone else that I can't remember off the top of my head. This Rockets team is a mess, but if this game happens, they still have to play 240 minutes. Next up at number 4, we're staying at the power forward spot. We're going to Marvin Bagley, just 5,900, projected for 35. The goal's 40.5. He's in the optimal lineup 23% of the time. Now I'm going with the assumption that Harrison Barnes is still not back, which means Bagley plays north of 30 minutes, 1.1 fantasy points per minute, and he takes a ton of shots, 26% usage, 19 points and 9 boards, so close to a double-double right out of the gate. He's not really giving you much else. And it's a little bit of a tough matchup against San Antonio. Jakob Poeltl really good defensively. It's pace neutral. There's not a ton to love other than the fact that a 30-plus minute per game Marvin Bagley should just not be 5,900. That's a crazy price tag. He's a better fantasy player than that. He's not a great real-life player, but in terms of fantasy skills, 5,900 is way too cheap for Bagley. Back to the Rockets once again. Number 3, DaQuan Jeffries, shooting guard eligible, just 3,300, projected for 22.5. The goal's 30. He's in the optimal lineup 24% of the time. I got him in for 32 minutes, but he could just as easily play 40 depending on how that news with Kyrie Thomas and DJ Augustin breaks. He is a terrible fantasy player. Normally a 0.65 guy. I've got him at 0.7 because of the pace up spot in this matchup. That's 15% usage. Really rough. Not even 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists, a steal, maybe a block. He's going to have to do a little bit of everything. But again, it's $3,300 and you're getting north of 30 minutes at about as low of a price as you could possibly find. They have to play 240 minutes. There's going to be stats to go around. It's a lot easier to provide value at a $3,300 price tag than it is for someone like Kelly Olynyk at $8K. Not to say that I don't like Kelly Olynyk, but for right now, I think DaQuan Jeffries looks like a really nice value, but we need to pay very close attention to Rockets news and to Rockets starters. Now we're grabbing a center. We're heading to Orlando. We're getting Mo Bamba, 6,100, projected for 37.5. The goal's 41.5. He's in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. We know this Orlando team is ultra short-handed. We know there's no Wendell Carter Jr., so Bamba's going to play every minute that he can. 1.3 fantasy points per minute in 29 minutes. That's 23% usage. Baseline projection, 16 points, 10.5 boards. So we've got him in north of a 50% chance of having a double-double. You also get 2.5 blocks plus almost a steal, so 3 stocks in total. It's a pace down matchup against Charlotte, but whether it's Bismack Biyombo, Cody Zeller, PJ Washington, none of those guys caused legitimate problems for Bamba, so I really do like this spot for Mo Bamba. 6,100, not nearly enough for someone with his upside, especially if the stocks get going, but When you've got a guy with double-double, like a neutral chance at a double-double, 50% chance at a double-double, and he's a guy that can get 3 stocks on average, when he gets 5 or 6, those outlier days, boy, oh boy, is that a nice score. If you've seen Bamba get north of 41 fantasy points, you're going to be very happy. And against Charlotte, that happens about a third of the time. Now, before we get to the number 1 contender, that's one last reminder. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Then, twitter.com/Josh Engleman. Click the follow button. That's the only place you're going to be able to get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. Finally, underneath this video, in the comment section, I want your favorite contender, your least favorite contender, and the contender that you think should be in my top 10 that you didn't see. Going right back to him once again, point guard, shooting guard eligible, Delon Wright is the number 1 contender today. I'm assuming we still don't see De'Aaron Fox. I'm assuming we still don't see Harrison Barnes, which means Delon Wright gets 36 minutes at 6,800. He's projected for 38. The goal's 44. Optimal lineup 27% of the time. He's like a 1.06 fantasy point per minute guy in this spot. 19% usage, 15 points, 7 assists, 5 boards, a little bit higher than that. 2.7 stocks, including 2 steals. This is a guy that can really pick up the steals, and I don't think that that's crazy against San Antonio. Again, pace neutral spot, but Delon Wright is still underpriced for this particular role if he is playing 36 minutes or more in this game, and I see no reason that he doesn't. The dual eligibility helps a ton. I expect him to be in the top 5 all day, no matter what news we get, except for news about the Kings. So, Delon Wright, the number 1 contender on DraftKings for today. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Friday, May 7th. Process show is in the books. Go watch that. FanDuel version of this video is also posted. Go watch that. Strategy show with Lafayette at 10 a.m. If it hasn't happened yet, you should watch it at 10 a.m. If not, that is also just archived on the YouTube channel. Then that's it. No live before lock for me, so keep your eyes peeled for my updates. Good luck tonight, everybody. Have an excellent weekend. I hope you have some fun. I will be back again Monday morning for another edition of the Contenders.